Hey, what's going on, guys? You're watching 24/7 Gaming for You News, and today we're going to be looking at the Nvidia Shield. Okay, so before we get into the Nvidia Shield, I just want to say that Nvidia are well known for their graphics cards. So when coming to creating a handheld portable device, they will know what to put in it and what it needs for to bring out the most in their visual technology. So I'm going to go straight into the specs. We're going to work our way from the inside out. So the Nvidia Shield has a processor called Nvidia Tegra 4 processor. It's a quad-core A15 CPU. Now the graphics card is custom made for the Nvidia Shield. It's a 72-core Nvidia GeForce CPU. So obviously it's custom, it's made by Nvidia themselves, so they know how to tweak it to bring out the best for a 5-inch screen and for best performance in visual effects. So the processor, as I mentioned, the quad-core A15 CPU is the world's fastest mobile processor. Okay, so now moving on to the outside of the Nvidia Shield. The controls are like a hybrid of a PS3 and an Xbox controller. Okay, so moving on to the outside. The controls are like a hybrid of a PS3 and an Xbox controller put together. And the directional pad on the left hand side of the Nvidia Shield is like the directional pad from the Xbox. And the analog sticks are placed in the same area as the PlayStation 3 controller. So in the middle of the controller you have 5 buttons placed like a 5-headed dice. So starting from the top left there is a start button, and then on the top right there is a sound button. Okay, so just above them 2 buttons there is a mic. Okay, so the middle button has the Nvidia logo printed on it, so I'm assuming that it's going to be like the PlayStation Home button, where if I'm guessing that when you just press it, the function is to go back to a menu, to the home menu of the Nvidia Shield. So just like what the PlayStation does. So I'm guessing that's what it'll be. It's very convenient that you'd have it in the middle, so you know it's like the button to go back to the menu, the start menu. So the bottom left is a back button, like a return button of a like returning pages, not to return to the main screen. Now the bottom right hand side looks to have a home button as well, but I'm not too sure about that button, so I'm going to move on to the mic, which is just above the 5 buttons, that I've just explained. It's just below the screen of the Nvidia Shield. So moving on to the right hand side of the controller, the 4 buttons that you have are exactly like the Xbox 360 buttons. So it's the Y at the top, the B on the right hand side, the A at the bottom, and the X on the left hand side. So it's pretty much a mashup of the PlayStation and the Xbox, which makes it more convenient for both type of gamers. So if you're looking to get into a portable handheld gaming system. Okay, so moving on to the speakers, which are the best features in my opinion. These are they're huge for a controller of this size. They're huge. So what I was used to was the little small speakers that were on the PSP, but these are really huge. These are like amps that are on the system itself. They look like amps anyway. They're really big compared to the controller. So compared to the controller, it really matches the aesthetics of the handheld controller. So, and also they are integrated onto the controller, so it makes for a better experience. Like when you've got the controller aimed at yourself, instead of having, like on the PSP, there was the speakers were underneath the PSP itself, so you wouldn't actually, you could still hear it, but it wasn't directly at yourself. So moving on to the screen itself, it is a 5-inch 720p multi-touch screen. Now this is good, but to me the screen looks as though if you was to lean on it or apply any pressure to it, it could break quite easily. But apart from that, it really looks great. So moving on to a plus side, the top of the shield looks great. In the middle of it, it has 4 ports. Starting from the top left, a micro SD card reader, which is obviously great for storing games. Also a HDMI port to obviously to plug into your TV at home, so it's like a you can play on your big screen TV. So it also has a USB port for transferring music, pictures, There's also a headphone port. Now, staying on the back of the controller, the left and the right side have 4 bumpers, pretty similar to the PlayStation bumpers, the R1, R2, L1, L2, which are pretty good. Okay, so moving on to the main features of the Nvidia Shield. It has built-in Wi-Fi, so you can stream games and also download games from Steam. This leads me on to the operating software, which is the latest Android operating system by Google, which gives you access to all the Android applications and Android games. Okay, so overall for me, I would give the portable console 8.9. Like I said, the screen looks to be a little bit fragile, but that's it for the Nvidia Shield. I will see you guys next time.